Raphael Varane sends message to Ineos after he makes Manchester United decision. The clearout has begun at Man United after Raphael Varane confirmed he will leave the club at the end of the season. Raphael Varane has confirmed he will leave Manchester United at the end of the season after he failed to agree a new deal to extend his stay at the club. The World Cup winner is out of contract at the end of June, and he would have had to take a pay cut to remain at the club, having suffered an injury hit 3 years. Varane has been sidelined with an injury since April 4, but is working to be fit before the end of the season and could yet feature in the FA Cup final at Wembley on Saturday, May 25. He has confirmed he will be at Old Trafford on Wednesday night to say farewell at the club's final home game of the season against Newcastle. Despite confirming his exit, Varane said he fell in love with United from the moment his signing was unveiled on the pitch before the opening day win against Leeds in 2021-22, and he had an encouraging view on the direction under Ineos. To you guys, supporters of Manchester United, it's been an amazing few years to play for this special club and wearing that shirt, said Varane. The first time I went to Old Trafford as a Man United player, it was insane. The atmosphere was amazing. I fell in love with the club and the fans. You have to play for Man United to understand what that represents. For my kids, it's home here. It's going to be a special place for me for life. When the fans go to Wembley, it's something they remember for life. To share that moment with them was absolutely amazing. Despite the fact we had a difficult season, I'm very positive for the future. The new owners are coming with a clear plan and a great strategy. I'll see you at Old Trafford to say goodbye for the last home game of the season. It's going to be a very emotional day for me, for sure. The 31-year-old has made 93 appearances for the club since signing from Real Madrid for £42.5 million and was part of the side that won the Carabao Cup last season. Raphael Varane has already sent Manchester United clear replacement message after exit decision. Man United news as outgoing defender Raphael Varane leaves his heir at the heart of defence after announcing summer exit. Raphael Varane has already named Willy Cambuala as one of the next big things at Manchester United as the club now look towards replacing him at the heart of defence. On Tuesday morning it was announced that Varane, 31, would not be extending his stay at Old Trafford after 3 years in England. He failed to agree to the optional further season with the Red Devils having arrived in the summer of 2021. Despite a string of injury problems for the former Real Madrid Titan, Varane has remained a first-choice option for Erik ten Hag when fit. He may well have played his final league game for the club though after being sidelined for the last 6 weeks. He is working towards a possible return for the FA Cup as United take on Newcastle and Brighton this week in their last 2 Premier League matches. In his absence, ten Hag may well continue to turn to Cambuala. The teenage defender made his senior debut earlier this season and has now started 4 games in all competitions. He is yet to taste victory when selected from the off though, having missed nearly a month through fitness problems of his own. He was a late substitute against Arsenal on Sunday, unable to turn things around, but is seen by Varane as a player capable of doing great things in a red shirt. He is showing his qualities, the World Cup winner said of his compatriot. I think he will play more matches in the future and continue to improve. He is very young, but he is showing his qualities and we trust him. He has a great future. The pair have only played 5 times together and never with longer than 25 minutes of normal time. They will now be hoping to give Varane a proper send-off by qualifying for the Europa League and lifting another domestic cup. His departure will leave Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe with plenty of restructuring to do in defence under the head coach next season. Johnny Evans has already played a much bigger role this season than expected, with Harry Maguire emerging as a key player despite being up for sale. Victor Lindelof has deputised across the back line during Lisandro Martinez's consistent unavailability. In recent weeks Casemiro has been playing there without success. With more wholesale changes across the board expected at United in the summer, Varane's comments on Cambuala may well prove to be valuable in terms of saving money on other transfers. Worst in my lifetime, match of the day pundit lays into Man United after Arsenal defeat. Manchester United suffered a 1-0 defeat at home to Arsenal on Sunday afternoon to leave them on the brink of failing to qualify for European football next season. Match of the Day pundit Alan Shearer made a scathing declaration about Manchester United, referring to their current lineup as the worst in my lifetime. The Red Devils suffered their 19th defeat across all competitions on Sunday, May 12, after losing 1-0 against their Premier League rivals Arsenal, which has now extended the battle for the title until the season's closing day. Despite the United being plagued by injuries, with star players like Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes absent, the Newcastle icon was straightforward about the squad's lacking quality, reports the Mirror. He voiced his disappointment in Monday's episode, May 13, of the Rest is Football podcast, accompanied by his Match of the Day colleagues Gary Lineker and Micah Richards. As Richards lavishly praised William Saliba, whose stellar performance at Old Trafford won him the Man of the Match title, the Premier League's top scorer declared, "I think that's the worst Man United team I've seen in my lifetime. You can't fault their effort, they tried, but in terms of ability-wise, and I know they've got loads of injuries, but would you argue against me that team being the worst in my lifetime that I've seen?" he asked Lineker, who concurred with his view. Following United's record-extending 14th Premier League loss on Sunday, which leaves them in 8th place and on track for their worst finish in over 3 decades, Ten Hag expressed his frustration. Post-match, the Dutch manager highlighted the team's injury woes and compared it to Arsenal's relatively healthy squad this season. "Any manager can do better, but also I am 2 years here and I have one time had a full group of players," he stated. He further explained the challenges of managing a team with numerous injuries, saying, "You can't progress a team in certain key areas with so many injuries. It's like swimming with your hands on your back and you have to keep your head above the water level. That is what we try to do." Despite the difficulties, Ten Hag remained optimistic, reminding everyone, "We are still in a cup final. This is good. But if you want to progress a team, you need fit players, and you see our opponent today, they had only one not 100% match-fit player and we had so many. Should get knighted." Paul Merson makes stunning Manchester United claim after Arsenal defeat. Former Arsenal player Paul Merson has offered his strong views on Manchester United after they suffered a club record-extending 14th Premier League defeat of the season. Paul Merson believes Erik ten Hag should get a knighthood if Manchester United earn a shock FA Cup final win over Manchester City on May 25. United lost 1-0 to Arsenal on Sunday, having won just twice in all competitions since March. A penalty shootout win over Coventry City in the FA Cup semi-finals and an unconvincing 4-2 win over Sheffield United are United's only victories since their famous 4-3 win over Liverpool on March 17. Ten Hag's side now look set to miss out on European football for the first time in a decade, with United currently 8th in the Premier League table. The Red Devils could secure Europa League place if they beat City in the cup final, but Merson cannot see them causing an upset. The former Gunners player has suggested that United's manager should receive a knighthood if they pull off a shock victory over Pep Guardiola's team. He claims that it would be a miracle if the Red Devils triumph at Wembley later this month. "I didn't think I would see this in my lifetime," he said on Sky Sports. "Even 8th in the league. In my opinion, this is the biggest club in the world. Still one of the biggest clubs in the world, but it is not the biggest team. If they beat Man City in the FA Cup final, looking at it at the moment and looking at the last few results, he should get knighted, and I am not exaggerating. He should get knighted because it would be a miracle." It's done, Manchester United star reveals Erik ten Hag replacement. Erik ten Hag is expected to leave Manchester United at the end of the season, and a current player has reportedly named his replacement. A current Manchester United player has reportedly hinted at Erik ten Hag's potential successor, with former Liverpool midfielder Jason McAteer suggesting that England manager Gareth Southgate could be in line for the job. McAteer, who refrained from naming the player,